Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 2009 inductions to the Shaggers Hall of Fame. Would you join me in welcoming the Secretary of the Hall of Fame, Miss Wanda Yao, and the President of the Shaggers Hall of Fame, Mr. Sam McIntosh. Let's have a hand for him.
We want to welcome everybody. Tonight is a wonderful night. We're going to bring in 8 new inductees. To begin with, I'd like to do a little housekeeping and introduce some people. To begin with, I would like to introduce our CEO, Mr. Chuck Hedrick. Will you please stand? And his lovely wife, Carolyn. And quickly, continue to stand. I'd like to introduce the rest of our executive board. Mr. Bob Myrie. Steve Lewis. And my buddy, Mr. Roger Burr. Roger stole my coat. Thank y'all. And now, our board. Mr. Don Browne. Please remain standing, Don. Marilyn Burridge. Marilyn is the one that all of you hear from with the parade. And you'll be hearing from her again real soon. And her job is tough because some of you send stuff in real late and say, I want to ride with so-and-so, and please find me such and such a car, and I want it to be the best convertible out there. And she has a hard time doing that, especially when you pick out the color you want. She can't do that. So she has a tough job, but she does a great job with it. Judy Eastwood, who is not with us tonight, and I'll go into that a little further in just a few minutes. Mr. Charlie Womble, did Charlie make it yet? There's Charlie. There's Charlie back. John Teal, I know he's here. I saw him. John. These folks do a phenomenal job. They have a hard job, and it comes once a year and twice a year for some of them, and more often for others. But they do a hard job, and the biggest job is in the spring when they get into the spring meeting. And nobody knows what it's like until they sit in there that one day. Thank y'all. I don't know if I may have made it tonight. I haven't seen her. She had a wedding to preside over, and her husband's birthday is today. And she's missed it the last 2 years to be with us. She does a lot for us as Shaggers, for the shagging community, and she is running for re-election. I'm not a politician for her, but she does a lot for us. So the locals, remember that. I don't think Rick Hubbard's here, but I always like to speak about Rick just for a second. He's the founder of the Hall of Fame. And I'm sorry he couldn't be here tonight, but everybody remember that that's where it started. This place is a ballroom. It's a meeting room when you break it down into 2 parts. And it takes a lot to make it into a pretty little room, quaint and so forth. And Carolyn Hedrick and her little group do that every fall. And when you look at the tables, they're pretty. When you look at the decorations, they dress it up as much as they can, and they do a wonderful job. And I'd like to thank her. She worked from 10 o'clock this morning until mid-afternoon, and she had some help. Peggy Burris, Mary Lynn Myers, Jeannie Pack, and Jerry Clifton worked very hard to make this a little tastier for us all. Without the music, there is no dancing. And we've got with us tonight again the Hall of Fame DJ that has been with us for every single induction. And that's Hall of Fame DJ, Mr. Jim Davis. Jim used to make me tape way back in the tape days, and he would talk to me. He had a little thing where he could talk to me on, and he'd tell me, this is so-and-so from such and such a day, and I think you'll like this. Let's give it a listen. And those were the greatest tapes I ever had. And some of the best music that I ever got. Danced in a lot of contests to them. With Jim is, again this year, is Sid Pruitt, who's been with me for 18, 20 years. Long time. Great weekend. Again, I'd like to thank Harold Worley and his staff for putting this room together for us, for all their hard work during the months leading up to this. I spend a lot of time down here knocking on Jessica's door, Jessica Worley, who is not just Jessica Worley now. I came down this week and her door was locked. And on Monday, and on Tuesday, and on Wednesday. Finally, I called Harold, and she's on her honeymoon. So I don't know her last name now, but Jessica is married. She's a great, great person, and does a great job for us putting this together, along with Paul. Paul does a magnificent job. He does a lot of the hard work. And we appreciate you, Paul. I see you standing back there. Thank you so much. So thank Harold's crew.
Okay. Each inductee tonight will receive a plaque and a lifetime SOS card. Chick will be giving y'all an envelope that has a letter about the paver, and it has your card in there, so please do not lose it. Also, I think at this time, we're going to have all the Hall of Fame dancers come out here on the floor and do a little 2-minute dance. So y'all gather up here. Try to keep your name tag pressed on. Marie, get you a partner.
Come on out. Wiggle your way through. It's not grab somebody. If you can't find anybody, come over here. I'll find somebody for you. Maybe. Put them walk. Right here. Look, you can't miss him, Mimi. Mimi. Oh. Okay, I need two guys that are not Hall of Famers. Right here. Two guys that's willing to dance. Two guys. John, come here. I need a gal. One. Can you do it? I need a gal. Who wants to dance? Give me a girl. Oh, he's got one. Okay. Rock and roll.
Remember how crowded it was last time?
I used to hang out down at Jack's Pool Hall. You go down there and don't do nothing at all. You wanted to play some cards, there was a game in the back. You wanted a shot of something, you went and talked to Jack. He had a little money, he wasn't a grade A fool. There was a guy down there who used to shoot a little pool. Rack 'em up, rack 'em up. Said he had no wife, but she left him in tears. He hadn't been home once in 25 years. Rack 'em up, yeah.
That was great.
The reason we don't dance is we couldn't get up here and talk then, we'd be out
I
of
couldn't get
breath.
my breath for 10 minutes after that. I'd like to introduce someone now that does a tremendous job with a very difficult and very rewarding, because I see the reward on his face. He's got some great plans of making it even better, but this is an exciting part of what we do, and that's our kids and the keepers. And he is our chairman for the keepers, Mr. Bob Myrie. Please come forward.
Thank you, Sam, Wanda, and my glasses. Good evening. Good evening. Welcome to the Hall of Fame inductions. I want to thank Sam and Wanda, thank the DJs, and again the staff over here at the hotel for a wonderful year and a wonderful job. Do you people realize that this is you probably don't, because it's important to me, the 12th anniversary of the Keepers of the Dance Award. And each year I go through the history of this thing, and I guess it may get boring to some of you, but then there may be some of you that are here this year that hadn't heard it in past years. Kind of started back when Harry Driver was alive. Harry had an idea that we should honor the young people who were going to continue to promote the dance and the bright stars of the future, Hall of Famers of the future. And he and Chick Hedrick got together, and I think it was probably after Harry had passed on, but Chick got with Vicki Carter. And in 1998, we had the first Keepers of the Dance Awards. And they decided at that time that they were going to honor the junior dancers who had danced in junior shag and who had given past contributions to our dance, and the people that were still contributing even after junior shag. And those were the criteria that they established for Keepers of the Dance. And so we've been doing it now for 12 years, and thanks to Harry's idea and Chick, people like Chick and Vicki Carter, and some of the people that I'm getting ready to mention right now. The present Keepers of the Dance Committee, and most of these people have been on the committee since I was the chairman. And of course, Mr. Chick Hedrick, and he's President Emeritus and CEO of the Hall of Fame. So, Chick, stand up, please. He's been at every Keepers of the Dance meeting. He's been with us since I started for years. And as Sam has already told you, I've been the chairman now for several years, and I've never gotten any reward in my life as great as being involved with this and doing this for these kids and trying to honor them and watch them come along and keep this thing going with the Keepers of the Dance. So I've really enjoyed it tremendously, and I told them, I said, you can take me off the board of the Hall of Fame, you can kick me out, but you just let me come in here once a year and put these keepers in, and I'll be happy. Mr. Bill Barber, you hear Bill's our secretary, and he's been with the committee as long as I've been on the committee. Bill, stand up. He, by the way, he's a past senior division national shag champion and U.S. Open champion, and I think he won Charlie Jackie's thing, and he's a pretty good dancer in his own right. So he knows what he's looking at. He knows what he's looking at when he's talking about these kids. Sam McIntosh is on the committee. Of course, Sam's president of the Hall of Fame. Thank you for your service. I hadn't seen Mrs. Catherine Tillman this evening, but she's always at every meeting, and she always has input, and she's been on board for many, many years, and we appreciate her service. Our current national Masters champion, Miss Susan Neal, is also on board. Stand up, please. And the founder, chairman, and I don't know how he puts up with it, the National Shag Dance Championships, Mr. Barry P. Penn. And last but not least, they saw fit last year after we had a board member resign. And the one resigned, by the way, and he still is an advisor, and he still gives us valuable advice. And he was on the committee up to last year, and that's Mr. North Jones. And I guess they wanted to keep it in the family, so the committee voted that the replacement would be my lovely bride, Miss Mary Lynn Myers. And we did something new this year. We decided that we were going to put a keeper, someone who was in the keepers of the dance, on the board, so we could try to keep up with the kids and keep up with the pulse. And besides, he knew how to use, email and stuff like that. So our newest board member is Mr. Matt Free. And as long as we're talking about contributions and people that have done things for this little committee and this little area within the Shaggers Hall of Fame, I want to mention two other people. Big contributors, promoters, and everything in Junior Shag, Eddie and Catherine Monsoor. And I say something about this lady every year when I do the little history thing about the keepers, and she's been gone a long time, but she's back with us. Vicki Carter, stand up, honey. And Vicki, going with Harry's ideas, we wouldn't have the keepers of the dance. Vicki, thank you so much. And I know all the young kids that you've helped and worked with over the years, even if it wasn't the Piedmont area. That's a private joke with my wife and I. Thank you so much. It's good to see you, good to have you back. This past year has been kind of a strange year for the Shag and our little North Myrtle Beach community. For years and years and years, as long as I can remember, my favorite Shag joint of all time, Ducks, was the home of Keepers of the Dance. Well, there were some changes this year, and Ducks, as we knew it, no longer exists, in case some of y'all haven't heard. The committee got together and we moved the keepers' pictures out of there, and we had to find a new home. And I want to give a special thanks to Harold Worley and his staff, because they have said they would accept us over there. And I asked Harold, could we put the keepers' pictures up over there? Could we have our... Did I say Worley? I'm sorry. I meant Harold Bessie. I apologize, Harold and Harold. I don't know which one I'm embarrassed the most, but Harold Worley and his staff over at Harold. And when I went in, Harold Bessie with his staff, I'm sorry. I got Worley on the brain, I don't know why. I think it was because everybody told me to talk to him about it, and I said I thought it needed to be, a beach club. Anyway. We talked to Harold, and the first thing they told me over there, the important thing was, I said, can you find us a space to put these pictures? And he looked at me and he said, we didn't talk to Shannon. And I walked in. I said, Shannon, where are we going to put the pictures? She said, pick a wall, any wall. And she did. So they are welcoming us with open arms. So we got a new home, folks. And let me tell you real quick what's going to happen this year, and I hope people will support it. I hope the keepers and the Shaggers, the competition Shaggers, and the people that dance in these contests and all will support it. We're going to have Keepers of the Dance weekend, like we always do, the same weekend. It'll be February the 19th and 20th of 2010. And that's when we traditionally have the weekend, and we put the pictures on the wall, whatever wall we happen to have at the time, of the inductees that are coming in tonight. And that's what we're going to do at Harold's in February of 2010. And we're going to have a contest, a dance contest for the keepers, and it's going to be Keepers Weekend. And we did it last year at Ducks, and it was a big success. This year we're having a preliminary contest for qualifying. We're having qualifying contests for the finals at Harold's. We're having 3 qualifying contests. We're having one at Gary's, at Loafers. Gary Gibson's place in Raleigh, and that's in November. The flyers are out front. We're having one at Thirsties in Greensboro in December. And the final qualifier will be at Harold's on Friday night February 19th, before the finals on Saturday night. And I urge, we're giving away a lot of money. We're going to try to make it a great weekend and honor the keepers of the dance. And I urge all, we got 3 divisions, juniors, seniors, and pros. We're going to qualify 27 couples, and everybody's going to get paid. But the big deal is going to be a big weekend. It's going to be a good weekend for the Hall of Fame and for the keepers. And any of you people that want to dance or come, please, please, please support it. I think it'll be the best one ever. We're looking forward to it. Oh, yeah, sound reminded me. We will take sponsors. We're giving away a lot of money. But anyway. Okay, now the good part. We're going to do the presentations of the new keepers of the dance. I haven't seen a lot of them around tonight. Are there any keepers in the building besides the ones that are going in tonight? Well, if you are, how about coming up here like I always get you to and stand up there where we get these 2 new kids in. Come on up, any of you. Any keepers that are here? Okay, guys, if y'all kind of, a couple of you get over here, a couple of you get over here, we're going to get these. Why did David go over there with the women?
He's pretty enough.
Oh, by the way, George, welcome back. All right, let's go with the first inductee of the evening. This young lady was born in High Point back in 1980. She was introduced to the shag at the age of 7 by watching her mom and dad. Her local mentors were Debbie Rickard, Irving Ellington. She learned from Vicki Chambers and, oh my goodness, Vicki Carter. Her idols were JoJo Putnam, Linda Carroll Flynn, and Sandra Schwartz. At the age of 10, she was dancing on TV with her partner, Brent Key. She became an accomplished junior shagger. She danced in all the shag clubs locally and at the beach, both competitively and for charity. In 1982, at age 11, she and partner Michael Norris won the Carolina Shag Division and were the overall winners at the Virginia State Open, and they received the Rising Star Award. She's competed in many, many, many national contests, and since turning pro in 2006, she's won multiple contests, and she's won a contest at least every year she's competed. She continues to promote the shag by competing. She teaches at Thursdays. She teaches group lessons and individual lessons. Ms. Crystal Taylor. She was going to be a show dog tonight, and she hurt her ankle and can't even dance. Congratulations, Annie. You want to say a few words?
Small speech. If you can hear me. Okay. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for this induction into the Keeper of the Dance. I'm very honored to receive this award. When I look back to when I started dancing at age 7, I caught onto the steps quick. I love the music and would dance with anybody. It just came natural for me, and everything took off from there. Through the years, I've met a lot of wonderful people and have performed at various events and competitions. Though win or lose, I've learned the value of the dance and the people that were brought together and the friendships that have been made. I'm very competitive and I love the excitement. I have put my heart and soul in creating my dance. I want to continue sharing my abilities, teaching, especially juniors and others, so the next generation will keep the shag alive. I want to mention some people who helped me get started and taught me throughout my teen years. Debbie Ricker, Vicki Chambers, Vicki Carter, Irvington, Janice and Mike Helms, Gordon Maddox, Cy Creed, Angie Powell, and Sam West. There are a few people who truly have inspired me with their style of dancing, which was Sandra Swartz, Linda Carol Flynn, and JoJo Putnam. I would like to thank all of my dance partners for dancing with me. Thank you very much. My biggest supporters have been my family. If it wasn't for my mom, I wouldn't be standing here. I owe this award to her for putting up with me and always telling me that I can do it and to keep on trying. And shag has been a significant part of my life. Thank you for allowing me to entertain you.
Thank you, Crystal. We're not going to get to see her dance tonight because she's a great dancer, but she's obviously clumsy too. I told her earlier when I realized last night that she hurt her ankle, sprained her ankle. I said, "Well, that went my show dog for this evening." But we'll get to see her dance in February, and I'm sure we'll get to see her dance a lot more times. Congratulations, Crystal. The male inductee this year, born in Concord, North Carolina in 1975. And unlike most of the shaggers, most of the people that learned this dance at an early age, he didn't get into dancing from just dancing or watching people dance. He got into dancing through the music. It all began, in his words, with the music. His folks collected rhythm and blues records, old records, and by age 10, he could be found on Saturday mornings with his friends in Concord scouring yard sales and flea markets to search for vintage records. It wasn't until he went to Lake Leary, North Carolina, the location that they were filming the movie Dirty Dancing, that he was introduced to the shag. By then, he was a record buff and a music buff, but he finally found a dance that fit with the rhythm and blues that he loved. He became fully indoctrinated later on when he met Susie Bieber and a wonderful, wonderful band of junior shaggers. He spent summers working at Ye Old Clock Shop with Reed Avery and Butch Metcalf, which I'm not too sure about that. At least he learned a lot more about the music. This led to dancing in numerous junior shag contests, dancing in the National Shag Dance Championships, meeting his wife, Holly. He won the non-pro division in the 2006 Nationals, and he became a member of the National Shag Dance Championship dance team. He continues to promote the dance, the music, and the lifestyle by DJing, competing in pro contests, and he serves on the board of the Beach Music Association International, and he's a permanent board of a member of the Hall of Fame Foundation. Jason Cagle.
Thanks, Bob. I guess I just need to start off and say I'm so appreciative to be standing up here, especially amongst all these folks. So I want to thank the board of the Keepers of the Dance for nominating me. And also, thanks to all the Hall of Famers for allowing the Keepers of the Dance to participate in this special event every year. It's pretty intimidating as I look around, because a lot of these folks are the people I grew up as a junior loving to watch on the dance floor. Names like George, Jeff, Little David, Willie G. Come to think of it, these are the people I still like to watch on the dance floor, so I'm not really sure how I fit in, but it's awesome to be up here. A little sad tonight that my wife Holly can't be here, but I'm happy to say she's doing better. If we have our way, she'll be back on the dance floor early next year. So, thoughts for her. But I was driving down here and I was thinking, what in the world am I going to say, and what does the Keepers really have to do with the Hall of Fame? And then it became pretty obvious to me, because when I think back over 20-some years ago, when I was a junior, I used to go every week to Groucho's, which by then was called Smiley's, and they had a junior shag night. And I remember I was there one night, and Jim Johnson was helping me with some of my steps, the duck walk, and this lady walks in, and Jim says, "Jason, you've got to go ask her to dance. She's a Hall of Famer." So I strolled across the dance floor, and I said, "Ma'am, would you like to dance with me?" And Jim said, "Oh, by the way, they call her Ziggy." Betty Ziegler looked down at me, and she said, "Why, sure, I'd love to dance with you under one condition." And then she proceeded to take her shoes off and throw them in my direction. Well, what was I supposed to do? She's a Hall of Famer. She must have known what she was talking about, so I proceeded to put her shoes on. And out in the middle of the dance floor we went. The catch was that Ziggy had just showed up from her weekly tap dance class. So there I was in the middle of Groucho's in front of everybody, trying to do my basic in Ziggy's tap shoes while she laughed with glee till tears rolled down her face. But I'll never forget it, and there are so many wonderful memories from Hall of Famers, whether it was, begging Joanne Johnson and JoJo Putnam to come to Northwest Cabarrus High School, because I thought all the other kids needed to see them boogie-woogie to the Deacon Moves In. I mean, what was I thinking? But they did it, even though I was a no-name kid. They showed up time and time again. And so as I was driving down here, I was thinking about what it means to me, and it really has a lot to do with all of you. And so I just want to say thank you, because there were so many Hall of Fame DJs and Hall of Fame dancers who influenced me along the way. And whether you guys know it or not, you all have influenced former juniors or other adults. And by doing so, you've kept this thing going for over 30 years. And so as I stand here, I'm really humbled to be with this group of boogie-woogie dancers. And you got our promise that we're going to keep it going for the next 40. So thank you.
Thank you. All right, folks, we can't get Crystal to dance because she's barely walked, but we're gonna let Jason dance for you. And since he doesn't have a dance partner, I think there's probably some keepers here that'll dance with him, maybe Nikki, Mandy, somebody. So Jason, get out there, Mr. DJ.
If the stars are gonna shine gold with you, gonna be mine, yeah, tonight. It has to happen, darling, tonight. Oh,
wish I was that elephant. He does a great job. And his heart's totally in it. Again, let me remind everybody of all the inductees. After our break, please come up here. And I told you earlier, I really didn't go into what Judy Eastwood wasn't here to stand up. Last night she went into the hospital about 3 o'clock in the morning. She's doing okay. They're running some tests and hopefully she'll go home tomorrow. Please remember her. She's doing good though, and she doesn't need a lot of phone calls. We're going to do a little break, a little free record break, and let you dance a little bit. And then we'll cut it off and come back and induct some folks. Have fun. We're close to getting into the inductions. The one thing that I do want to get to and definitely do not want to overlook is every year we induct at least 8 people, but we also lose some. And this year is no exception. And one year I'd like to get up here and not have to go over this, but this year we lost some wonderful people. Wasn't a lot, but they were wonderful. The Squire, Miss Bed Temple, most precious, Louise Unsar, and the lovely Kidney Devine. I can't talk about them without getting choked up because they are some of the people that we will miss forever. I mean, I miss them today tremendously, and I would like to ask for a moment of silence for these folks because they are. Thank you so much.
Okay, we're getting ready to get this show on the road now. Our first inductee grew up in Durham, North Carolina. She and her partner danced to Ty Boyd's WTTV Top 10 dance party. And that's pretty good since she learned to dance in '54 at the age of 13 at the East Durham Youth Center. She attended her first dance with our late great Larry Blake, who I think a lot of y'all knew and loved. Every chance she got, she went to Ocean Plaza at Carolina Beach or any place that had a jukebox. She graduated from Croft Business College and married, having a son, Lynn. This took her away from the dance for a few years. Once single, the dance called her name again. She says, I still remember the first day that I met my dear friend, Bob Myrick, and danced with him. She says she's been so blessed to have met so many great friends. Buzz Sawyer at Red's in Raleigh, where she also met Pee Wee and John Teal, Linda and Cecil Squires, Charles and Kathy Gurley, and we do miss Charles tonight too, and Kathy. Betty Jean and Charles Jernigan. She met Norfleet Jones at Elliot's Nest. She danced with Sam McIntosh at a birthday party that Gail Huggins used to give for her husband, Lee Huggins, every year in Fayetteville. She used to dance with Norman Holiday. That was my deceased husband, I think most of y'all knew. And I was, of course, going around talking to everybody while she was dancing. We were normally judging and taking a little break. She always enjoyed the smooth dances with Norfleet. And she also enjoyed laughing and dancing with her dear friend Bill Young and her friends in Greensboro like Eddie Page, Jack Smith, and Kim Maynard. The list goes on. You know, we've all danced with a lot of people that we've all enjoyed dancing with. She danced her first masters at Harold's beside the old pad in 1990 and was featured in the PBS documentary about beach music and shag in 2001. She would only do this if Larry Blake was included. She was awarded the Shag Icon by SOS. I would like for our first inductee, Donnie from Durham, Hodnick, to come on down.
I'm Donnie from Durham. Every time we would go somewhere and you meet somebody, I just cut through the chase and would say, "Hi, I'm Donnie from Durham." And it has stayed with me for years. I want to thank the Hall of Fame board and its officers. I want to thank the committee. I want to thank everybody that voted for me. I did not know I was going to be so emotional. I want to thank everybody that voted for me. I want to thank the person that nominated me. And I want to thank all of you guys in this room that has ever danced with me. You are my vote. I've danced with the best of them. And I thank you for that. I am thrilled. I am honored. I just never really thought I would be here. And I thank you.
We're glad you're here, Donnie. And I believe you're going to dance with Bob Myrick tonight, aren't you? All right, with Bob Myrick, come on out.
Your eyes that promise sweet nights brings to my soul a longing, a thirst for love divine. In dreams I seem to hold you, to find you and enfold you. I miss you and our hearts too, with a thrill so sublime. Liquid green eyes, in my love life. So that in my searching for happiness, I feel that they will never hard to me. All through my life they taught me, but will they ever want me? Green eyes make my dreams come true. Green eyes, we're in my love lives. So deep that in my searching for happiness I feel that they will never haunt me. All through my life they've taught me, but will they ever want me? Green eyes make my dreams come true. Oh, green eyes make my dreams come true. I want you to make my dreams come true. Oh, na 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 na, green eyes.
And get your flag. And Monty's going to get a picture of you. I'm proud to say people used to talk about Donnie and I danced a lot alike.
What a gal, what a gal. Our next inductee. Man. Other than dancing, his full-time hobbies when he was growing up were golf, hunting, and fishing. He's a graduate of Wampee Little River High School, Winkett Junior College, and Baptist College. Not bad for a Horry County boy. His first recollection of fast dancing was about 58. That was down at the American Legion hut at Crescent Beach. And that was big time in those days. He's sure he danced with every girl in the county back in those days. There was a lot more people in Myrtle Beach, but there was a lot of great dancers up in Ocean Drive. But the gang that he ran with was, like most guys, they look at greener pastures. So Wilmington was the greener pastures. So he traveled there quite often with his gang, and he danced on TV on several occasions. That was that was on Teen Scene up there, and sort of like the local version of American Bandstand. Of course, he lived where the joints were. I'm telling you, the Pad Pavilion, Sonny's Pavilion, Wendy Hill Pavilion, and of course the Fort. He was a late night guy. Of course, he circulated with all his buddies. He ran with a good crowd. I remember that crowd. But they circulated most of those places. And he said most of the times, if you hung around there long enough, you could see one or two of the great dancers of that period show up, and he could steal a little bit here and there. And he did. But he had to settle down one day. Went to school long enough. So Dad put him in the Hussey Realty Company, and he had to put his nose to the grindstone and go to work, and he did that very well. And for about 20 years or so, he didn't dance. He didn't dance. But he did father 3 children. There was William, that's little Bill. That was Judy Margaret, that's our Maggie. And that was Edith Caroline, that's our Carrie. There she is. His wife Julianne doesn't shag, but she shares in a lot of his other hobbies, fishing, hunting, and cooking. Just a gourmet cooking. If you've never been invited to one of his cookouts or cook at the house or Camp Tick, great place. If you ever give an invitation, guys, it's worthwhile. I'm telling you, wild game, fantastic. But Bill finally got back into dancing. One day, his surf club buddies talked him into going down to the pavilion. And one of those buddies happened to be the old chef, Greg Stegall. Stegall picked him up at the house, and those two have been running wild ever since. There's no stopping them. But Billy will, he'll dance every dance if somebody hold his hand. Except that the ones that he had to be at the park is not a cold beverage. he will take a drink.
Thank you.
I tell you what, just be around and have fun. And we thank you for that. And we welcome you to the Hall of Fame.
Thank you so much. Sam told me I could not speak for 30 seconds, and he's been speaking for 5 minutes. He's stolen a great deal of my thunder. And most of you know that I do not like my thunder stolen. Let's see if I can realize. I can't hear you. I'm a rare and endangered species. Hello? A rare and endangered species. I'm a native Ocean Drive Beach, South Carolina, homegrown boy. I learned to dance in 1959 at the Crescent Beach American Legion hut, right across from Possum Trot Road. We did a step dig, 1, 2, 3, back step, and great dancing there. Graduated from Wampee Little River High School. Hello. The Pad, the Ocean Drive Pavilion, Sunny's Pavilion, Windy Hill Pavilion, and of course the Forks Drive-In late at night. Mercy, mercy. I have chased poor O'Neill and Sandra Swartz and Cindy Murphy 1,000,000 miles around there. It ain't gonna take me about another 30 minutes. Y'all calm down. Have a drink and calm down. Off to Wingate College after I graduated, I roomed with Dick Jim Dameron, and I terrorized a little guy from Newberry, South Carolina, little Tommy Cameron. Where's little Tommy? Tommy and I went to college together. He's a swell guy. I promise that. On to Charlotte, to B&G, the Cellars, from there to Charleston. We went to Merchant Seaman. Anybody remember that? Lester Hewitt. I lived with Wesley Ashley on Stockford Drive, and Wesley and I, we kind of ran that Cavalier Club of his. What a great time that was there. Married in 1970. I've got 3 beautiful children. If I could get them to stand up, Bill, well, he's standing up. William hands up to the 3rd. I've got Julia Margaret, her Maggie. Stand up, Maggie. And where's my pretty wife, Julianne Smith. Stand up, Julianne. Do not forget our this year. I'm very proud of them. I'm very thankful for the support they've given me in this endeavor. Woo! Mercy. My glasses don't work sometimes when I start crying, but I ain't crying. Here we go. 1996. I was the president of the Surf Golf Club here. Had a little bald-headed, beady-eyed guy that was a sous chef we hired, and he's a pretty nice guy, pretty good cook. You go to the brunches there, and he'd talk about quail hunting. He'd talk about dancing. He'd talk about everything. He said, "Would you like to go dancing one more time?" So I hadn't danced for 25 years. I'm gonna stop by your house. I didn't think he would. He did. That afternoon we were having a cocktail party. And here he comes, Greg Stegall, you beady-eyed devil. He asked me to go to the pavilion with him. I did. I didn't think he'd show up. But I went there, and the love of the dance was always there. It rekindled. My wife said, Greg, you did in fact recreate a monster. I probably would be remiss if I didn't tell you that I try to carry this band international. I got my good friend Rodney Edge back there. Rodney and I have been going hunting for 40 years. Some geriatrics have been going to Canada. This is our 25th year, and it's a great trip. We duck hunt up there. There's a little brothel. I hope the preacher's not here, for God's sake. But there's a little bar and saloon and 150 people town and a little 9-shot deal there. And we stay up there and the dogs sleep in the bed. They come down and eat off the table in the saloon downstairs. Well, we've been there for 8 or 10 days and I kind of want to dance a little bit. Got to pick it up, Tyron? Thank you, Tom. I'll terrorize you some more before I die. I asked this little old gal, I said, they had a little hip-hop band and they were doing some stuff. I said, honey, is there a possibility that I could teach you how to shag? And her boyfriend got mad as hell and he drew back the hip. I thought maybe he was just jealous. I didn't pay much attention to it. And they walked on out. A little while later, a little black-eyed gal came by there, and I said, honey, I'd love to teach you how to shag. She looked me over and down and up and down a couple times. She said, I think I could teach you a thing or two of that shagging, honey. Well, it took me an hour, but I did finally get her to do a 7-step basic, pretty decent. And that's my part for the international shag deal. I'm gonna mention one time how proud I am and how honored I am to be a part of this fraternity there. Hell of a crowd I'm being inducted with. I would certainly say that no. Man, I can't see what I'm dressed, man. My biggest problem. The class of 2000, calm down. The class of 2009 is a great class. Would y'all agree? I really think that I would take any one of them, Sam, to be the pick of the litter. But after that, I'm going to give you back the microphone. Thank you, and I love you really good.
I was afraid MC was giving me license. Who you dancing with, Bill?
Little Carrie Hussey.
Carrie Hussey, come on out here, baby.
And then I think Sandra Schwartz-Adams is going to break in, and then Monsieur.
I once got one bourbon, one stop, one bourbon, and one beer. Please, Mr. Bartender, listen here. I just ain't fooling, so don't you have no fool. One stop, one bourbon, one. Now my baby started on this free. Can't find her. I'm gonna get drunk about 3:30. Nobody but my buddy ran to me. I won't stop. One bourbon, one stop. One bourbon and one beer. Please, Mr. Bartender, listen here. I just ain't a fooling, so don't you have no fool. One start, one bourbon,
I have hold of the microphone. We're going to give y'all a little, another 3-record break after that one and get on back in here because then we're going to get started again on our next female inductee.
3 records.
Can everybody hear me? Ed Evans, can you hear me? Quit kissing on that woman. Okay, we're going to start with the next female inductee. This lady, and I can call her a lady, some of them I can't. Well, I use the term loosely with some of them. Her love for the dance began at age 8 with classes in tap, jazz, and ballet. She was good enough to be selected twice to go to New York for lessons in tap, which is pretty darn good. In junior high, weekends meant listening to records and going to sock hops. A local radio station had dance contest on Saturday, and she and her dance partner, Donnie Melton, won. By high school, she and friends were going to dances at Park Center, Jean and Hazel's, and Club 74. Her favorite dance partners were Ronnie Joyce and Ernest Burris. She received the superlative as Best Female Dancer of her senior class. In 1963, she eloped and married. I understand that now he's the best one-armed pool player around. He's a great guy. As the children got older, they started going out with Ernest and Joe Carroll Burris and Tommy and Mo Funderburg. The Steak and Ale and Groucho's were where they went locally, but they would also go to contests in both Carolinas. Fat Jack's was her favorite. I know a lot of y'all remember Fat Jack's. We miss that place too. She has supported the beach music and the dance for over 50 years and has given her countless lifelong friends. At this point in her life, she thinks the thing she likes the most is the beach, with the dancing and the music. A great gal and dancer. Do y'all know who it is yet? Olivia McManus.
Y'all bear with me. I'm not a public speaker at all. I want to start off, I want to thank Chick and Carolyn, the board members, the voting committee. Wait a minute. Let me start over. I want to thank Chick and Carolyn, the board members, the voting committee, and last year's inductees for making this possible.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I am truly, truly, truly grateful. I have really enjoyed getting cards, gifts, lots of hugs, going to lots of parties, and people telling me congratulations. That's what I'm going to miss. It never fails. Every time I'm down here, someone comes up to me and says, congratulations, congratulations. It's an awesome feeling, awesome feeling. And I want to thank all the guys that I have asked to dance over all these years. That's been a lot of guys I have been with in dancing. For you have put me where I am today. Without y'all, I wouldn't be here. Okay, turn the page, this is gonna be short. This has been a great journey. Each of us has our own style, our individual way of shagging. But what we all have in common is a love for the music, the dance, and the friendships that we have made along the way. I want to thank my husband for encouraging me to dance. Get out there, go ask somebody to dance. You need to dance,
Yeah,
go
David.
dance. Thank you, love you. I want to thank you to my son for being here tonight, and to all my friends for supporting me and coming here tonight. I really appreciate it. Okay, also H. Lee, I think he's in the house someplace. He's made it a point to announce all of us inductees for the past 6 months. Every time I've been at the pavilion, he takes a special time and says, here are the 2009 inductees. Some of them are in the house. Thank you, thank you. You have made me feel so special, so special. I'm not used to being in the spotlight, so if I fall down and do something stupid, watch me when I'm out just dancing and clowning around, because I love this dance, I love the music. Congratulations to my fellow inductees. Let's party, let's have a good night. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Olivia. Now, are you going to tap or shag tonight? She's going to shag tonight, and with Bill Barber.
Where do you want to dance then?
Someplace where I'm not blinded.
All right, Olivia. You stop, darling. Yeah. You always do.
What about your girl, mama? She sure looks good to me. What about your girl, mama? She sure looks good to me. Every time she smiles, 'cause she just knocks me out. It's like a baby's now, but delegated to all my girls. It's like a baby's now, but delegated to all my girls. I'm back in town, let them see what I'm putting down. Mama, your daughter looks good to me. That girl, she sure looks good to me. Mama, your daughter looks good to me. That girl, she sure looks good to me. Every time she smiles, 'cause she just knocks me out. Whatsoever you are, wish I could tell these girls for me. Whatsoever you are, this I can tell these girls for me. All good looking women, that's what I love to me. Mama, your daughter looks good to me. That girl, she sure looks good to me. Mama, your daughter looks good to me. That girl, she sure looks good to me. Every time she smiles, 'cause she'll just knock me out.
Get your plaque and your SOS card.
Oh, it makes you good. This way. Okay.
I was trying to stay out of the picture.
Way to go, Olivia.
What a girl.
Woohoo!
And her husband's that all we got to. Okay, our next guy is also from Charlotte. He graduated from high school and went in the Marines, and we thank you for your service.
Yes, we do.
He didn't make it a career, but when he got out, he followed in his father's footsteps and became he followed the trade and became a auto upholsterer. And he and his brother are two of the best in the Southeast. While he was in the Marines, he had a son, Kelly. And later, he started coming down to the beach. He went to the normal places. At that time, Fat Jack's, the Payette, and of course the other normal places. And that's where his shagging days started. And excuse me. He went home. He loved it. Went home, took lessons from Sonny and Judy Carver. Some of the first people I know that taught lessons. Nobody ever talks about them anymore. I saw Sonny probably 3 years ago, but they were good teachers. He started competing, and his first official contest was at Groucho's, the famous Groucho's in Charlotte. Yeah? That's my country too.
You went there, Sam.
I loved it. Still miss Randy, miss the old crowd up there. He said that the dancers had given him so much encouragement, and that he practiced and put forth the effort and competed, and he continued competing. And I remember those days. I watched him come along, and he went into the pros. He did all the right things. And in 1988, he and his partner, Jennifer Wattenberger, who is going in this year, finished 5th in the National. And they finished number 1 in the points with the SBA Pro Division points. So that was great. They did well. He's danced, and he's kept dancing, and he's danced today, and I think he's danced in some contest in the last couple of years. But nobody loves it anymore. The friends that he's made, he said, are the most important things to him, and he's expressed his gratitude to the dancers that have given him all the skills and techniques, and shared with him and given him the things that made him a dancer, and he has become quite a dancer. And the ladies that held his hand all through those years, and there was a few of them. He had a lot of partners, but he has become a good dancer. He does say a lot. After Bill's rendition, he said, he came by me while we were taking a break. He said, I'm not going to say a lot. I said, I know that. You don't say a lot all night long. But it's a privilege to have a friend and a guy that I've seen come along all these years and watched him progress, Mr. Ronnie Shue.
Stand up, Ronnie.
Hello.
I want to and now I've met a lot of friends here. Met a lot of friends I met. Danced with a lot of ladies. Enjoyed it. And I just want to thank y'all very much to move me into class with these people that's going in tonight. And all you others. Thank you very much.
What do you think of that?
Connie.
Tony Wicker.
Come on out, baby. Miss Connie River.
Words without love are just words with no meaning. And the feeling that something has died, I can't hide with only words. To lose you, now the last thing I want is to lose you. But I feel like I'm losing myself. I feel like someone else, I'm not myself. Words with no meaning. If something's done, it's not the same anymore when I'm by your side. Ooh, it's easy to pretend nothing's wrong would be easy, but to face you when something is gone is the hardest thing that I've done. But I'm getting much stronger. I was weak, but I'm feeling much stronger. If you'll give me a little more time, the more I find myself, the more I find words have no meaning when something's done. It's not the same anymore when you're by my side. Words have no meaning when something's done.
By the way, I don't work for the North Myrtle Beach Times, but I understand that these pictures some of them will be in maybe of the groups or whatever in Thursday's paper. Is that right, Monty? All right. Are y'all ready for our next female inductee? This young woman was born in Cleveland, Tennessee. She was the only child of Mayor Francis and Goldie. She still acts like an only child. If you talk to Hank, you'll know it for sure. She listened to 78s and big band music as a child. Her father, besides being a newspaper publisher, managed a band, and she got to tag along to some of his gigs. So love for music was in her blood. She went to sock hops, Friday night YMCA dances, YMCA, and Dick Clark's Cavalcade of Stars Roadshow. She was a majorette in high school, a cheerleader in junior college. And some dance in some form has always been a part of her life. She married and had a son, Chris Murphy, who's here tonight. She completed, and her granddaughter's here. She completed her master's at the University of Tennessee. When she relocated to Spartanburg, South Carolina, that's when she started dancing again. She spent time at Scandals, Club Savoy, and of course the Sand Flea. I know a lot of y'all have been there, especially the first one on Old Rutherford Road. Rick Hubbard, the original founder of our organization, was helpful to her from the beginning. Her work took her to the North Carolina coast and some of those joints like mint juleps, shaboons. And she would end up in North Myrtle Beach at Fat Jack's and Harold's across the street, Nodie Pub. Her job let her travel, and she would set up appointments to coincide with the clubs. I'm sure they never knew that when she made those appointments. So she would have appointments over the Carolinas. She competed for a long time with different partners. She and Dennis Robinson made it to the pros in '86, and she and Ronnie Shue captured the Spa Couples Honors in '88. I think y'all placed 5th overall in that competition. And I think the reason she was not dancing with Ronnie Shue tonight is I believe he has knocked her under the table, tripped her when they would practice, so she decided not to dance with him tonight. After years of competition, she taught for 10 years. Her love for the music is proven in her bio with her credits to historian Harry Turner and great DJs like Jack Moore and the late great Richard Nixon. We'd like to welcome my friend, and she is a lady most of the time, Jennifer Wattenberger, to the Hall of Fame.
See, Ronnie, if you do things, it will come back to haunt you. I'm so honored to be here and be in the Hall of Fame. My comments tonight are simple, a lot of thank yous. To my parents for allowing me to express myself through music, and I hope they would be proud. To my upstate friends for mentoring me in this dance. They took me into the fold, and they encouraged me in their friendship. I watched them dance, and I interpreted what I saw. You are my foundation. To my BFF Joanne, because she is my BFF. To 2 very special girls, my high school girlfriends who drove 9 hours to be here for me. To the women who loaned me their husbands, or in the case of Linda Squires, rented Cecil. And to the men who asked me to dance. To Rick Hubbard for creating the Hall of Fame. Our DJs for putting the soul in our unique venue. And to our club owners for providing us a place to gather. To dance partners like Ronnie Shue, who helped me with my success in my efforts. To hubby Hank for his watchful support. To my son Chris for learning to dance and knowing how much it means to me. Thank you for being here. And to my granddaughter Kayla, who is now learning to dance, and I'm very proud of her. Dancing with your child is an unforgettable experience. And finally, thank you to those who voted for me, who nominated me, who gave me parties, sent me cards, and cheered me on for 25 years. There are people here tonight because of me, but I am here because of you. Thank you so much.
And I believe we're going to start off with your son Chris. And then she's starting with her son Chris, in case y'all didn't hear me, and then she'll be dancing with another Hall of Famer, Cecil Squires.
You hurt me over and over again, and I cry over and over again. Why do I listen to every lie? I love you, that's why. I'm begging you over and over again, and pleading over and over again. Why don't I back up and tell you
I don't think Ronnie even knocked her in the head or anything that time. She was scared, she said.
Yeah, Jennifer!
In case anyone needs a drink or needs to go out the door for a little bit, we're going to take a 3-record break and come back with our next male inductee. I'd like to tell everyone too that the pictures that are being made tonight, you can go on Facebook. Mighty Lee is taking them. You can go into his webpage, Facebook. And we missed Janet Harrell tonight. She's been up in High Point with her mom, and she got a good report that her mom does not have cancer. Okay, Sam.
Well, this next young man, I say young, we're all young. His first exposure to dancing was watching his mother and dad. They were pretty good jitterbugs in their day. When he was growing up, his father gave him some good advice. He said, son, you want to meet the young ladies and make lasting relationships, learn to dance. Well, he and his buddy from that era and right up to this day, I saw him tonight, Tug Matheson, set out to do just that. Being from Charleston, they frequented the super spots of that period. That was Little Richie's, Hudson's, the Seaside, Tobin's, and their favorites were the Sands, and somebody mentioned the Sea Merchants Club, the Elks Club, and of course, Folly Beach Pier.
You're right there.
Yeah, that was the hot spot, Charleston. They watched the original beach bums and smooth dancers from that period. Sonny Snell, that's Carolyn Hector's brother. Yeah. There was also people like Flossie Grayson, Strawberry Barano, Bert Norman. But his hero was Bobby Somerset, our own Bobby Somerset. He danced through the 50s and 60s. He got married like a lot of us. He had 2 wonderful children, Tanya and Andy. With kids and a career, dancing went on the back burner. He had spent a lot of years working and providing. So a divorce came along, and the rejuvenation of the dance in Charleston, with new clubs replacing the old ones, clubs like the Mirage, Debbie Pivots, Xanadu's, Finley's, and he was boogieing again. In 1989, he met a lady named Sherry Strickland. Yeah, they've been together ever since. Boy, has he got a handful. He says that Sherry knew everybody, and I agree with that. She talks to most of them on the phone each day. But she appreciates the introductions that she's made for him all these years. I mean, she's introduced him to so many people. Andy's a little timid and shy. He'll stand back. But she's introduced him to a lot of people. And he really appreciates the introductions to some of his close friends, real close friends. People like Roger and Peggy Burroughs, Chicken Carolyn Hedrick, Billy and Jeannie Pack, Marcel Thomas. As he looks back, he really does appreciate the little bit of advice his dad gave him, and that was learn to dance. Andy Green.
I've been asked 100 times tonight if I was nervous. You gotta be kidding. The past 7 months have been great. The introductions, the recognitions, the handshakes, the hugs, the kisses. I mean, the well wishes people have offered are greatly appreciated, and I thank all of them. I would like to say thank you for the friends that I've met over the years, and there's been many, and for the good times, and there'll be a lot more good times.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm humbled, I'm honored, I'm happy, and I'm pleased to be part of the Shaggers Hall of Fame. Thank you very much.
I believe he's going to dance with Shaggers.
Give me 1 second, please. I'd like to introduce my family that's here tonight. My 85-year-old mother. My sister, Janet. Janet. Patricia.
He is going to start off the dance with his mother was clapping me.
We got it together, didn't we? Nobody but you and me. We got it together.
Your mother told me something about you trying to water Hampton Park one time when you were a little boy. Is that true? and I think you have a nickname that Tug told us about. Pinhead? His head was so little the cap wouldn't fit. That's before you could adjust them, you know.
I forgot to say something about my daughter. I introduced the rest of them, but my daughter too. Thank you.
Are you out of breath?
Dance with the whole family.
Okay, we have our final female inductee. We'll have one more male inductee after this one. I love to do that. Because I can. That's wrong. Thank you. I do a lot of things well. That's why I married a young man. I like his ponytail too. Thank you. What?
Hey, one,
okay.
Ponytail never hurt anybody.
This, I will call her a lady, has lived in OD long enough to be called a local, but she grew up in the big city of Lillington, North Carolina. I think a lot of y'all know where that is. It's not far off I-95. Her brother, who was 9 years older, and his friends took this little sweet child to joints at a very young age. They taught her to dance, and she became a chick magnet for them. That's the way men will do you. This began her love for the dance at a tender age. Gene Driver was a friend of her dad's, and his younger brother, Harry Driver, was instrumental in dances for youth being held in the area. She gives Harry credit for bringing in great black jump music. Everyone was hypnotized when Harry and Dottie hit the floor. She was too young to be legal, but Williams Lake was her favorite place. She also went to White Lake, I've been there, Embers Club, and Elliott's Nest. And vacations were spent sneaking from Holden Beach to come down here to OD to watch the dances at the pavilion and the pad. She did compete for a long time, but hated competing. And a lot of y'all have heard this story, but I happened to be judging a contest when it was Harold's across the street, and she was dancing with her husband at the time, and was pregnant with Zach. And I'm sitting there watching them dance, and he pulls her down into a drop belly roll. I think I gave an extra point for that when she was able to get back up again. And I mean, she was real pregnant. 8 months. But she said competing took the fun out of it. And for a lot of us, that's true. We like to get out there and just hot dog. She raised 2 sons alone, and that was tough. And Dewey Kennedy, who we all know and love, used to give them coupons for all kinds of free breakfast and lunches, free rides, etc. And Connie Platt Campbell always had a handful of something to give her to keep her boys entertained. So moving to OD was tough for them. Walt Graves paid her water bill a couple of times. So she doesn't mind doing anything. She's a real go-getter. And her Shag family taught her to pay it forward. And she does give in so many ways. She has taught so many kids at no charge. Her sons, Zach, is one of the best freestyle dancers to date. Her other son, Joshua, doesn't shag, but he supports his mom, one of the warmest human beings I know. Quit crying, Christy. And come on up here. Christy, my God. Browne. We know she's going to have a hard time doing this. Tears are coming. She said her nose is running. She'll be okay.
Well, I shouldn't have to say anything else. I think Wanda said it all, other than my thank yous. I've cried for 6 months, and I can't believe that I'm strong enough right now to be talking to you. I said I couldn't do it, so here we go. I look across this room, and I'm in awe to be included in this wonderful family. I knew I could do it. In this wonderful family of dancers and lovers of the music. I see mentors throughout the years that have taken me under their wings. I see men that I've danced and danced and danced with. I see women who supplied me with food and offered to keep my children so I could go out to dance once in a while. And I see some girls I've had some mighty good times with. And I never thought that I'd ever be up here talking to all of you. I've worked very hard to stay behind the scenes. I don't like being in the spotlight. And for the last 6 months, y'all have partied me and given me gifts, and I've had hugs and kisses, and every time I turn around, somebody's saying way to go and congratulations. Feels pretty good. I'll crawl back under my rock after this is all over with, but I sure have enjoyed the past 6 months, and I'm looking forward to the next 6 months. I love this dance, and there's probably only a handful of you here that know exactly how much I do love it. I chose very carefully who I'm going to dance with tonight. I chose him for a reason. Bill Hussey's going to start me out because he's my bud. When I'm dancing with Bill, I don't have to think. We just kind of do it. And then Tommy Hussey, Bones, is going to come in, and I chose Tommy because he makes me feel like I'm 15 years old again, and that feels real, real good. And we have a real good time when we're dancing. That's called a Hussey sandwich, in case y'all didn't know. And last but not least, I'm going to end it and dance my way into the Hall of Fame with my baby boy, Zach. And I'd like to say that as I grow older, I can at least sit back and watch him dance, and I'll be dancing within him. And thank all of you very much, and I love you.
rhinestone flip-flops. They're new rhinestone flip-flops. I would have broken my neck out there by now.
Oh, wow. Get your picture taken there, darling. Okay, our last male. Tell you a little story. In 1958, my father moved me and my family to Norfolk, Virginia. And we, of course, I lived in Rockingham all my life in a little house on Mill Village. And we moved into an apartment. I didn't know what that was. And so one of the first weekends there, he took us to Ocean View. And there was rides, the second largest roller coaster in the world, second to Coney Island. And my two younger brothers had a ball. But I was looking for a place to dance. And I found one very shortly. You know, they had a nice dance hall there. And I stood around and I watched. And they didn't do what we did in the Carolinas. And I watched a little while, and this cute, well, she's the cutest one there, came over and asked me if I could dance. And I said, yeah, but I don't do that. So she said, would you dance with me? I said, yeah. And I put on my best performance. And you know what? It fit with what they did. But she said, well, I need to calm you down a little bit. You need to dance a little closer to me, and you need to do this, and you need to do that. And what she was talking about, and she said, and we call it the bop. Well, our next inductee, he learned to dance at a very tender age. He learned to dance on his Aunt Lou's feet. He was a mere child, and he danced, and like 52, his father was taking his family to Moore's Lake, and as he says, it down on the pike. And they get there, and there's rock and roll and rhythm and blues music blowing out of that jukebox, and he hits the dance floor. Well, and he puts on a show. And it's like, I guess the best way to describe it is these old folks were so shocked. It was like watching Elvis on his first appearance on the Ed Sullivan Show. Well, he's been dancing, and his love for the music and the dance grew as he did. And he was 6 when he started. He opened up a club in the 70s called Nostalgia. And he's been boogieing ever since. He was known as the king of the boppers. He was invited in 1958 by Bert and Kitty Navani, 1983, excuse me, to come down to SOS. Well, he came along, and during that period, that week or 10 days or whatever it was, Carolyn Hedrick got a hold of him and smoothed his bop out to a shag. And he gives credit to Walt Graves, Cadillac Jack, and Phil Pritchard for teaching him steps and smoothing out that a little better and teaching the smoothness and the difference in the dance. He was so taken with that SOS that he went home and started the Richmond Shag Club. We got a lot of those folks. That's, he continued to come to SOS, and he started dancing with Beverly in '93. I think they took some lessons from several people, and then they started dancing in a competition where they quickly went through the CSA brackets and became pros, and they won many honors. But I think his biggest honor is that Beverly agreed to be his wife. They bought a second home here in North Myrtle Beach, and have basically become locals. They're here all the time. He still does drop splits, drop spins, makes me hurt just to watch him. God bless his soul. I don't know how he does it. But Mr. Earl Robinson.
Above all, I'd like to thank the good Lord I'm still here. There, will you come up and say for me?
This boy has absolutely no speech ready. You know what he's done? He's done it to me again. So I'm just going to hit a couple of highlights. There's not a person in here that's danced with more gas pumps, more grocery carts, and in more showers. I cannot keep him still. I think he's ADD. On top of that, Earl really wants to thank, I know that he does, we talked about it, all the women in this room. And he wants to thank all the men for letting him dance with all those women. And one other thing that I can think of real quick, I've been quite sick this past week, so I'm going to try to get out there with me. But I do want you to know if I can't make it, Jerry Burridge said he would dance with him.
Is that why Jerry wore a red shirt tonight? Is that why Jerry wore a red shirt tonight?
Every afternoon when I wake up, I say a little prayer and drink up and thank the Lord for driving me home once more. There's an open Bible on the table, an empty Bible on the floor. Last night I thought I died and went to whiskey hell. The sun never shines in whiskey hell. It rains Jack Daniel all the time. There's a price you pay. It's open every day. Flying high like a honky-tonk angel in whiskey hell. There's an open bar open all night, where me and my friends can get tight underneath the neon lights and whiskey hell. Drink a little beer and wine, stay drunk most of the time. Always raising hell all night in whiskey hell. sun shines in whiskey heaven. It rains Jack Daniels all the time.
Ladies and gentlemen, we come to the part of the program that you're really going to love. This is the grand finale, if there ever was one. I want to introduce someone that I always a pleasure to do because he's such a gentleman. He's a Hall of Famer. He's been chairman of the National Shag Dance Championship since its inception. He is a member of our selection committee for the Keepers of the Dance. One of the finest gentlemen I know, Mr. Barry Thigpen.
Thank you, Sam. Sam did those nice words last year, and I was sitting by Jackie McGee, and she said, I thought he was going to introduce you. Thank y'all for inviting the team back again this year. We appreciate it. The only thing I regret about the team coming is you always get the first performance of the year. We wish it could be the last one because it improves as the year goes on. This year has been no exception. We've had to call in alternates to do it. Holly has not been able to participate. We thought she would. She's having a baby in December. And we've had alternates. They've worked really, really hard. We've got 4 new team members who've never been on a team before. Some who've been on before, maybe not last year, but have come back. We've also got 4 members of one new one tonight who are members of the Keepers of the Dance. We're very proud of that. I think one thing that kind of pulled this thing together, Jeff Burdick is not team captain. Team captain were Holly and Jason. Choreographers were Jeff Hargett and Nikki Cantulis, who did a fabulous job. They're dancing to some of the best music. My favorite, mainly because I picked 2 of the records they let me this year, that we've ever had on the dance team. They do a great job, but we've kind of gone military with this thing a little bit for your walk-on. No, we're not doing that tonight? Too nervous. Too nervous? Okay, well anyway, all right. Okay, all right. The last person I'd like to thank, or last group I'd like to thank is the team groupies who are here tonight, and they know who they are. Hold it down, group. There are 2 of them. There are 2 of them. But anyway, enough talking. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2009-2010 National Shag Dance Championship.
Rushing where angels spread a tread, and so I come to you, my heart above my head. Though I see the danger there, if there's a chance for me, oh, then I don't care. Where wise men never go, but wise men never fall in love. So how are they to know when we met why everything is fine. All those cats been drinking out the wine, kicking out the windows and knocking down doors. They're drinking by the gallons and screaming for more. They're drinking wine for you, they're drinking wine.
Remember, if y'all want videos, if you want a video, be sure and let them know. I think Carol is still outside, I hope.
For their first performance, I think they got a lot of potential, don't you think? That was wonderful. Remember, we'll be sending out, not too long from now, the next year's flyers, and it's pretty much the same. The weekends are the same, so yeah, it's just like.
Well, it's around the third weekend in March or second weekend.
Yeah,
It's in March.
same weekends, only the days move by one day. Thank y'all for coming. It's been a wonderful night. It's been great seeing everybody again. Be careful going home. Love y'all.